Hello everyone, I'm Silverraptor and welcome back to another Wargame Red Dragon deck creation video where we will be creating version 2 of a Soviet generalized deck. As you can see, we have the Soviet First Army and no other deck, unlike the US that had a armored division that I created earlier. No one actually requested another Soviet generalized theme deck, so we're actually going to keep up with namesake of keeping the Soviet Second Army. Let's go and start that process. So this will be the Soviet Second Army. There we go. Red 4, and we will do USSR. Perfect. Great. Okay. Logistics tab. We shall, of course, be getting that illustrious, wonderful fob. And we want to keep this mixed up a bit. So in this deck, I definitely want to get some T80 UKs. Now, this is a really expensive CV. I don't want to lose this. I am getting this one Elite. Now, you might be wondering, why would you get a CV at Elite? Well, I'm weird. Like a lot of people when they get tank CVs, and I understand that, especially with cheaper tanks, they just like to hide it because it's a lot harder to guess artillery when a tank can survive an artillery piece. I'm weird because I will actually, if a fight is going on, I will actually take this tank that's sitting in the forest, and I will move it actually forward, yes, temporarily decapping the sector for a moment, to the edge of the forest, so that it can actually shoot at enemy forces a bit. And I'm hoping the enemy doesn't have enough recon to appear like a blur, and they can't actually tell that it's an ACV with the silhouette and everything, but I am very mindful that enemy tanks or anti-tank planes and any other kind of threat to this is real, so I don't keep this up front very long, maybe just a couple rounds, maybe 3 if I'm feeling real, I guess, brave is the right word. But then, of course, I will retreat it and move it around and do mind games to make sure they are guessing of where exactly I put this tank. The only thing I need to worry about after that is if the enemy has any attack comes, if there's any US on the enemy team that I need to worry about. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure this can survive most random cluster shots at the start, so I will be getting this at Elite, but that only leaves us with 1 CV, and it's super expensive. We definitely need a much cheaper CV tank. A CV that we could bring in. We could get the BMD2K, which we did in the last deck, but let's mix it up. Let's just explore our other options. Let's compare the BMD2K with the BTR70K. The BTR70K is faster road speed. Not much else for a 5-point price increase. It's even got worst gun. Doesn't have an autocannon that can shoot down pesky helicopters flying overhead. So we're going to keep looking. That's small size. That's interesting. BRDM2U. I think we actually want to get some infantry. So we're going to get the Commandoi. I can't pronounce that. We're going to get that. Anything else? I don't think so. I think we'll do us, because otherwise we'd be filling up on CVs. So we only have 4 CVs. Need to keep mindful of that. And we need supplies. And we could get like one of these MI6 or the MI26 for that mini fob. This thing I'm leaning towards a bit, and even though it's 500 liter supply, let me do math here in my head for a moment. Okay, so if we take 2 of those, so that an MI26 can fill up 12 MTPs, and MI6 will fill up 7.5. I think that's actually fine. Yeah, let's save on points. We'll actually get the MI6 for this instead of the MI26. And then we'll get some MTPLBs. Wow, we're filled up on our logistics tab. Now, the reason why these guys, I got these guys is because they are amphibious, and that is on track with what I have in mind for the infantry, which we are going into right now. So, in that last deck that we had basically the mix of air and ground with the last Soviet deck that I had. We're not going to have any helicopters this time. I'm going to be leaning away from that. So first thing I want to also let you know is I'm also not going to take any Modestroki. Modestroki, not really the best unit. The only thing they're good for is that they come in the illustrious BMP3, but that makes them super expensive. The Modestroki are kind of on par with the U.S. riflemen. They're not the best infantry compared to other infantry in the game. The only thing the Modestroki 90 have is that really powerful RPG with 24 AP power, but we should have enough enough AP power to be able to take out enemy tanks. So I'm going to try to stay away from Modestroki as well. So I'm going to be looking at the Moskaya Pekotas. Now, need to compare between the 90s and the regular. Now, they're the same price, but you get less 90s than you do of the regular. So, going to take a look at that. So, why would we get the 90s over the regular? Well, they've got the same light machine gun and the same regular gun. The only thing they have is 3 extra AP power on the RPG. So, the only other advantage that the 90s have is they can come into BTR 90. But that's it. And quite frankly, no. We're going to get... These are going to be our shock-trained regular infantry because they can come in a 5-point truck. These guys can come in 15 per card. And that's basically 30 of these Moskaya Pekotas. I'm tempted to take 2. Let's go and see what other kind of infantry we're going to have first before we move on. Let's get some Conquerors M's before we do anything else. Is there anything I want? Robots are not... I've never really been impressed with the robots. Some Scripts. No? Alrighty then. So we're going to get the BTRDs instead of the empty LBVs for these ones. And the reason why is that the BTRDs, if you read that just about... Here, I wish I could. Okay, around this area, if you read that as I mouse it over, it says Quad PKT. The key word here being quad. So it's got 4 PKT guns on it. Now, my favorite part is that everyone goes, where on this vehicle are those guns? Well, I actually found them by looking right here next to that headlight. You see that little thing is moving. That's one gun, and here's another gun. They actually kind of move in unison. Now, that's only 2 guns. It's supposed to be a quad. I don't know actually where else on here the other 2 guns are, but I'm guessing you're supposed to imagine that those are actually 2 barrels there instead of the 1. But, yep. The hidden gun on the BTRD, everyone, I remember keep asking, where the heck is the gun on this stupid thing? But we are going to get some Conquerors M's. That's definitely going to be the AP power we desire. And we need the difference between Iglas and Igla Ends. And the difference is HE power. The Igla Ends have 5 HE power, while the regular Iglas have 4 HE power. Now, we need to put that into perspective. It takes 3 Igla shots to take down a plane, while Igla N will only need 2. So that's a huge difference. The Igla N, you can bring 7 of them. The regular Iglas, you can bring 9 of them in the trained variant. So I actually think we're going to lead with the Igla N's, so we could just have that extra HE power, which is very valuable. And we're going to get them in Grisettes, because Grisettes basically double the air firepower. They're also BTRD, so they have that quad PKT, as well as a nice gun that pretty much can wreck apart infantry and stun up helicopters. Just a little bit extra damage. I haven't really seen a Grisette shoot down a helicopter, but the stunning is definitely quite valuable. Okay, looking at others. We could get Sapri for cheap fire support, but actually let's look at the Spetsnaz. Now, Spetsnaz can also come in Grisettes, as well. But since we didn't get the BTR 90s on the Moskaya Pichotas, let's actually get the Spetsnaz in BTR 90 so that the BTR 90s can share in the veterancy. BTR 90s very good because they actually have a frag grenade. And if you have elite trained frag grenade wielding units, those frag grenades are going to land a lot closer to home and basically wreck apart infantry much faster. It's also pretty damn fast, both amphibious and has a very nice auto cannon that's kinetic. So definitely we're going to get that. Of course, that makes Spetsnaz really, really expensive. We could get more Spetsnaz with a cheaper vehicle, even in BTRDs, huh? Could get more, but I think we'll stick with that. We'll give them a double push. This will be our infantry killing card right here. And now we're going to have, I think we want to get some VDVs. Now we need to compare between the VDV and the VDV 90. And what's the advantage? Well, the VDV 90 have a really, really badass AP power RPG. 24 AP power. Not bad at all. But all their other weapons are the same. Do they have the same cards? No, we actually get more regular VDV than the VDV 90. So, now most people would probably pick the Vampire and not think of any second thought. But I'm actually thinking here is that most of the time you put infantry in buildings and basically keep the tanks away from and most people don't drive tanks into towns because that's basically a death trap for the tanks. So I'm kind of leaning away from the 24 AP power on the VDV 90. Let's actually look at what we're actually trying to get with the BMD3. That has a 23 AP power. It's got a nice autocannon as well. Let's compare. So we can get 13 or 9, and here 13 or 9. Well, since we are going to get the same amount per card, let's actually just get the extra 24 AP power. But if you want to just get regular VDVs later on with like the BTRD, get VDVs instead of the Moskaya Pichotas, you can get 25 cost instead of 30. Here's the stats to compare. They basically have the same kind of weapons. The VDVs do have a little bit more accurate RPG, but they're both shock trained. But the Moskaya Pichotas do have 15-man squads, and the 50-man squads can make a difference. I'll tell you that. All right, so now we've got this all squared away. Let's quickly reorganize everything. We're going to put the Moskaya Pichotas there. Oh, perfect. I love it. We're going to put the BTRD, the Conquered M's there, and the Iglis there. And I just realized we have a vehicle different for every card. So, yeah, pretty good. We can tell them apart just by what vehicle they come in. All right. We're at 20 activation points. We need to start considering what we want to have. So, for air pieces, I think I have, apart from the BTR 90s, everything's tracked, right? Yeah, everything's tracked. So we don't need to have anything wheeled. That means the Strela 1M is out. Strela 1M is actually a pretty good infrared vehicle, even though the stats don't show it. It's 30 points, and you basically have a fire on the move with wheels. AA unit, very good. It's also amphibious, so just bring that in. Basically better stabilizer than the Strela 10M. So just for future use, an idea. Tunguska M. We can get regular Tunguska. It has a little bit less range with those missiles and less accurate. It's kind of what we want them for, but oh, we could get a bunch of Tunguskas. Oh, decisions. I think I got the regular Tunguska M in the last deck. We'll get a stack of regular Tunguskas. I want a Buratino because Soviets are the only ones to get Buratinos, and Buratinos are annoying as heck. Vasiliks. Yes. I like Vasiliks because they just dump a whole bunch of artillery, basically mortars, into a small smoke area. We need to get some anti-plane AA. Tor. What's the difference between the Tor and the Osa? Tor has better helicopter range and better airplane range and a little bit better accuracy than the Osa. It's just slower and not amphibious. Okay, so the Tor is basically an Osa replacement. Okay, I was wondering what the Tor's purpose was, if it was shoot down planes or helicopters. It's to shoot down helicopters. Bucks are definitely good against planes, and for 15 points, there's a significant difference in range. So we definitely are going to want some bucks to take out the enemy. And we only have the Tunguska. Difference between the Burayusa, we get 9. Okay, we're just going to get 7 hardened Strellas, and we need to organize this. We're going to put the Buratino over here, and the Vasilik over there. Didn't think consider. Okay, Tunguska here, Strellas there, Buratino there, Vasilik there. All right. We've got it quite organized. We've got anti-plane, better anti-helicopter, basic infrared anti-helicopter, Buratino, Vasilik. Okay, good. Tanks. Now we need to go over the tanks. I'm thinking we don't need the we need only one super heavy tank, but I don't think we don't need both of them this time. So which one do we want? Let's compare the T80UM to the T72BU. So, the main gun is identical. In fact, it has the exact same name. Yes, it has the exact same name. So the main gun is the identical. So it's going to have to be with the ATGM weapon. Now, I'm not going to lie, I'm not very impressed with ATGM weapons on tanks. They just don't seem to hit for me. I'm not sure why, but it looks like the T-72BU is worse with its ATGM weapon. Worse range, worse accuracy, and worse AP power. That's interesting. However, the BU does have more armor, especially top armor, which is good against cluster munition. Back has more armor, more side armor, and is a bit more autonomous. Hang on, let me just check the infantry. Okay, BTRD does not count. Okay, 500 kilometers, 500 kilometers, 500, 500. 500 seems to be about the range. And what was the T80UM? 450. Okay, so that's about the range. It's got better weapons, so I think we'll have our super heavies as the regular T80UM. Now we could definitely need to look at the next line of tanks. T80Us are very good. Well, let's compare them to the UM for 20-point difference. They have 1 less front armor. They've got, hang on, I think they've got the same gun as the BU. Nope, I lied. They've got a better missile because it has longer range, but it's still got the same stats. So T80U even go class the T70U's ATGM weapon. Gun, less accurate, less AP power by 3, but still damn scary. Hell, that sounds pretty damn good. What's the T80A? 50 points less, significant difference in performance and armor. And BV, yeah, let's get some T80Us. So we've got the heavy tanks, not the super heavies, well, T-80U is right on the border, I think, of would qualify as a super heavy, but we need definitely cheaper tanks now. T-72As, you can never really go wrong. They can stop a lot of the ATGMs and survive with one hit. They're basically missile sponges. Given that we have a bunch of heavy-duty tanks already, yeah, let's get a bunch of those. They will be our screening tank, and I think that will do us for now. We need to keep an eye on our activation points. Recon, we get the KA-52 because who does not like seed on their helicopter? I do not know. We need to look at other recon. We've got the Vedka. They don't actually come into a vehicle that provides recon, which is sad. P270. They do come in a 5-point. That could be pretty beneficial to have cheap recon. Not a whole lot. Ooh, the BRDM-3. It's just basically the BTR-90 without the frag grenade. Huh. Do I need... Recon is important. Recon is pretty important. Okay. We will get 13 of these guys. Do we need 13? Let's try to get them up so that their autocannons hit more often. I'm trying to convince myself that veterancy for an autocannon, which has a pretty high rate of fire, is a good thing, and I am completely failing at that, so we're going to get 13 trained, even though I'm pretty sure we're not going to go through all of that. Okay, GRUs and VMF. I would like both, but we're only going to get one. So, GRUs and VMF. Sell me as to why your Spetsnaz division is better than its cousin. So, GRUs have 10 man. Ooh, you're starting off strong right there, but the VMS is countering with his exceptional stealth. They both seem to have the very same primary weapon, the AKS-74U, but the Spetsnaz GRU is making a better argument that they can use that weapon much better, even though it's pretty damn good, due to the fact they have 10 man in them. They both have a sniper rifle with no difference whatsoever other than the shape of it and its name, and the RPG. The GRUs have higher AP power, higher accuracy, and twice the rate of fire over the 2 RPG-7s that the VMF have. The GRU have made a very compelling choice, so it looks like we are going to be getting some GRUs. Ooh, we can get them in the BTR-90. Will this actually give us any more availability? No, just make them cheaper. So we are going to get some more BTR-90s with the Spetsnaz GRUs. Basically, BTR-90 is going to bring in all of our Spetsnaz of varying types. And we are going to get some cheap Razvedka for our cheap recon. I am decided that cheap recon is becoming more and more important. Actually, this is pretty well divvied up. We've got the helicopter, we've got the vehicle, we've got the infantry that come in the vehicle cousin, and then we've got the cheaper infantry over here. So this is important. This is definitely important because Spetsnaz growth, because they get 60 points. Ugh. But they still are pretty good frontline fighters. I do like having some recon that can fight on the front lines, because then if they're at the front lines, they could see everything and be able to provide all the data to all the ATGMs and everything that's also found on the front lines, so that they can target the tanks and everything, and so that everything can see when these guys are fighting. Even though these guys are in harm's way, they'll be able to spot for everything else much better instead of being a little bit far back and having a potential blind spot in your coverage. That's how I feel with frontline recon. For anyone who wonders, why would this guy ever put recon into fights? That's kind of my logic behind it. Vehicles. Well, I already said that ATGM on vehicles are pretty bad, especially against charging tanks. The Sturm, however, is an exception because that's 2,800 meters. That gives it quite a bit of leeway and room. I might lean on getting that. We did get the BMPT. Oh, I just wish the SU-12254 was still the king that it was. A while back, before they changed it, it used to have 5 HE power on its main gun for 15 points with a 1 HE power machine gun. It was the king of being cheap and killing infantry, but it's kind of fallen off with 4 HE power. Now it's just the regular HE power of the TADU and such. BMPT is a much better infantry killer, but it is expensive. Evgemsky. Okay, I'm just going to stick with some hardened Sturm for now. Because of 2,800 meters, I can see if tanks are charging. This gives them enough time to fire a missile, miss, and then have plenty of time to pack it up and run, instead of the 2,600 normal meter range of other ATGMs, which fire, miss, and then try to run and then get shot because the tank is faster than them. So we are going to get Sturms, helicopters. Do I want a Kula? Do I want an Akula? Sure, let's get a couple of Kulas. And, well, we don't really need to have helicopters that shoot at other helicopters as badly. Mi-28, MIVP. Oh, wait, what? Oh, okay. Actually, I think... Okay, I am trying to recall. I think the Poles have a Hind that costs 100 points. And for its 100 points, it has 8 Kokons, 20 AP power. Beast is 10 points less and has 22 AP power, but only has 4 missiles. The Mi-28, let me compare to the Akula, where it's ATGM missiles. So they're less accurate stationary and have 1 less AP power, whereas the Akula is more accurate, has more missiles, 1 more AP power. You know what? In terms of just efficiency, I think the Mi-24 VP is more efficient for its price range than the Mi-28. Let me just compare. Yeah, it's just 5% less accuracy for 40% less cost. And it's got just 3 less AP power, but it can still do its job. I mean, those ATGMs can still take out tanks. It still has the same range. And it's got more rockets. Even though the Mi-28 has 4 HE power rockets, those rockets go through fast. I mean, yeah, okay, they'll kill 1 squad of infantry, and then it's done. It can't kill any more infantry at range anymore. The Mi-24 VP, I think they fire in rounds of 20 before they have to reload. So that's basically 4 rounds of rockets. I'm trying to do math in my head. It's been a long day. I'm just going to say, yeah, we're going to do with a cheaper route with the Mi-24 VP. And I think that will be our helicopter. This gives us a lot of leeway in the planes tab. Okay. MiG-25 PD. I've been looking at this for a while. We have plenty of activation points. I will revisit this, but I'm going to get these guys vetted up. Why would I consider the MiG-25 PD? It only has 4 missiles. That is true. But if you look, it's a very unique plane, as these missiles like to have something called 8 HE power. If we compare this plane to, let's say, the most expensive, the Su-27PU, it only has 5 HE power on each of its missiles. So these things can kill pretty effectively. The Su-27PU, I'm not overly a fan of how expensive it is. So we will keep going on. The Yak-141, I don't like because it has the 4 missiles and it doesn't have like the gimmick of having high HE power. So I found that these things don't quite have the killing power. So I think we will go on. We could get the Su-27M. That can give us some huge tank busting power. The problem is it's a 200 point plane. We lose it. We just handed the enemy 200 points. Again, the Su-25T would be the same thing. You know what? We're going to go for it. We're just going to take our chances and take it out. So we've got the Su-24M. I love the Su-24M. I see a number of people use the IL-102. I'm not as much a big fan of that plane. I don't know why, even though the stats suggest that it's better with 14 500 kilogram bombs, I just don't really like it. So I think we're just going to stick with the Su-24M, 2 of those, can't go wrong. We are going to be actually looking into our price, MiG-23MD, to keep our price down, because we do need to have a pretty decent AA unit. These are close range fighters. Do we need seed? Kinda do need seed. Ooh, yes. We need cluster. Okay. I'm not a big fan of the interceptors. They miss way too much. Su-24. Cheaper. I like it. A lot cheaper in terms of price. Let me check the support tab again. We've got the Bucks and Tunguskas and such. So we do have some dedicated. So I think, yeah, we'll try to, let's select the Su-24. We're trying to stay cheaper on the airplane side because we have already got really expensive Su-27M, and I've noticed we have run out of activation points. So we need one more, and I think you know what I'm going to be going for. I am Starry Sturm, but you have been relieved of duty because we are going to be getting a better point value in terms of Su-24 seed planes. Su-24, let's compare it to its other seed cousin, the MiG-25BM. The BM has 5,250, a lot longer range, and better accuracies than the Su-24. And it is faster. The thing is, they did change the seed missiles. It used to be able to fire 2 missiles at a time, basically guaranteeing a kill. Now we'll fire 1 and wait for the seed to get the seed missile all the way get to the target, whether it hit or miss, before it fires the other. And by that time, it's in range with its 1,000 kilometers per hour. Su-24, since it's a little slower, it has an advantage on that, and also only has 2 missiles, so it will instantly evac after it fires its second missile. And I don't have to worry about the MiG-20. Since I have to worry about the MiG-25BM, of getting shot down, and I only get 1 of those. So yeah, I think we're going to go with the Su-24, and we are going to reorganize this, because this is just a mess. How embarrassing. We have the PD, we're going to put the bomber over here, put the U over here, we're going to put the U over there. And do I like this? Do I like this? Yes, I do. It makes sense in my mind. We've got the air superiority. We've got the hybrid, which has air superiority missiles, as well as cluster munition, which can take out tanks in forest area. We've got the Su-24M with its 30 bombs, so it's next to the multi-role bomber. Then it's next to its cousin, the regular Su-24, and then the big daddy of them all, the Su-27M with its TV guidance missiles to be able to take out those heavy-duty tanks that would cause us a lot of trouble. And then, of course, the Navy, because Soviets have better ships. We're going to just do our typical Red 4 nation build together. Did I go past the Django? Yes, I did. How did that happen? Right. And that's not what I was looking for. Where is that? Where's my supply ship? Where is he hiding? Where are you hiding? There you are. The Muna, the most uninteresting ship in the game. Looks like just a regular fishing trawler. But it carries more supply, so I'm happy with that. Alright. So, this is our deck. We are not having any vehicles. Not having any of them vehicles, but we have plenty of other things to play around with. We've got heavy tanks. We've got a lighter tank to screen them. We've got supporting fire basilics. Overall, I'm pretty happy with this deck so far. Second generalized deck, going with a full land-based, more land-based focus. Less helicopters to have to micromanage, especially in the Helo tab. Yep, pretty good in my book, and I look forward to testing this out. So I will see you all in the next video. Make sure you all also put down in the comments below if you want to see any particular deck being built in front of you, and then of course played with. You know the drill, and I'll see you all in the next video.